Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the 11th and penultimate sector of this round the world low cost challenge. And in this episode we're back in Toronto Pearson International Airport as provided by FlyTampa in prepared 3D version 4.5, and we're in the awesome Aerosoft Airbus A330-300 in the livery of Canadian low cost leisure airline Air Transat. We fly multiple services across the Atlantic, but on a seasonal basis they will fly between Toronto and Glasgow, and they do typically fly this service on board the Airbus A330, sometimes their 200 variant and other times their 300 variant. But of course, because we're in the Aerosoft Airbus 330, we only have access to the -300 model. The calendar and flight sim is set to just after 1900 local on the 8th of June 2022, and as I flew this flight many months earlier, Active Sky historic weather has set to the same day 12 months earlier. And if this all goes to plan, we'll be back in the UK early morning on the 9th of June 2022, allowing us to make a local domestic service flight back to London Luton, in plenty of time to make the deadline that I set myself for this challenge. Okay, over in Simbrief we're planning a 2-4 right departure from here in Toronto Pearson, with a number of left-hand turns taking us northeast up the shores of Lake Ontario towards the St. Lawrence River, overhead Montreal, skirting past Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland before picking up a North Atlantic track eastbound, talking to Gander Air Traffic Control. In 2022 in the real world this would all be done of course using data link, but sadly not in prepared 3D. With a flight time of just over 7 hours we'll be arriving just off the west coast of Scotland, overhead the Inner Hebridean island of Mull, before planning an arrival into Glasgow runway 23. This is a route I've flown many times in real life because in effect it links the two largest cities of Old Scotland and New Scotland. Anyway, let's get back into the cockpit and get this transatlantic flight back to the UK underway.
Transat Airport Warp is cleared at Glasgow Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain altitude 11,000. Departure frequency is 124.75, squawk 2025. Transat 244 cleared to Glasgow Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain altitude 11,000. Departure on 124.475, squawk 2025. Information, Juliet, request.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
American 2.3 runway.
Locking gear.
Taxiway, taxi heading.
Departure check completed.
Runway 2.
Bypass bin inserted.
Taxiway 6.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Delta, Air Canada.
Set parking brakes. Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass bin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Transat 244, taxi holding point for runway 284 right, using taxiway 4 Alpha Juliet Alpha Delta. Contact tower on 118.35 when ready.
The part of the Toronto Pearson Terminal 2 building that you're seeing just to the left of the A330 as we taxi out to the runway is in the real world, where a number of airlines have their lounges, including British Airways, a lounge in Toronto I've visited many times in real life. And yes guys, I have sat looking out the window enjoying a cool Canadian beer, watching these Air Transat Airbus A330s prepare for their transatlantic journey. And the terminal that we are now passing just off to our left is the Air Canada Star Alliance terminal. I've always referred to this as the new Air Canada terminal, but in fact it's been open for well over a decade at the time of recording this video. And I visited this terminal and the old Air Canada terminal many times over the decades, while travelling both internationally and domestically through Toronto Pearson. As I said at the beginning of this video, the scenery that I've got installed here and prepared 3D version 4.5 for Toronto Pearson is from FlyTampa, and for those of you who are interested, it's version 2 of the scenery. As I said in the last video when I was flying the PMDG 737-800 in the livery of Flair Canada from Edmonton to here in Toronto, I do think FlyTampa make an extremely good scenery product. They're certainly one of the best in the industry. Right, back to today's flight across the Atlantic to Glasgow. I'm approaching the threshold for runway 24 right here at Toronto, so it's time to get this Aerosoft Airbus A330-300 into the sky.
Approaching 24 right.
Transat 244 cleared for takeoff. Runway 24 right. This wind calm.
On runway 24 right. Contact Toronto departure on 124.475. 124.475, maintain altitude 11,000.
Toronto Control, Transat November 4.
As I said previously in this episode, our departure from Toronto vectored us through a number of left-hand turns, pointing us northeast up the Ontario coast towards the St. Lawrence River. But other than that, there wasn't an awful lot to show you on this flight across the Atlantic, except as we headed into night and then into day very shortly after, because this far north at this time of year means that the nights are very, very short. With the top of descent approaching, we will be planning an arrival into runway 23 at Glasgow. And the scenery that I've got installed at Glasgow is from Gary and his team at UK2000. And at the time of editing this video in late February 2022, it was the latest version.
Turn left heading 060, descend and maintain altitude 7,000. Expect vectors ILS. Runway 23 approach. Transat 244. Turn left heading 090. Turn right heading 145. Transat 244. Turn right heading 205. Descend and maintain 2,900. Cleared ILS. Runway 23 approach. Maintain 2,900. Until established. Tower on 118.8. Transat 244. Cleared to land. Runway 23. Transat 244.
$500. $400. $300. Minimum 100. $100. 50. 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Transat 244. Contact ground on 121.7.
Welcome to Glasgow. And with only one more sector to go, we're rapidly coming to the end of this round the world low cost challenge. The next episode will be the 12th and last video, where all going well we'll arrive back in London Luton 9 days after we left, travelling eastbound all around the world. So you know what to do if you want to follow the channel and the last episode in this series. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon if you wish to receive notifications on the next video published. So until then, all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and wherever you're flying in your virtual world, don't forget to fly safe.